Procrastination is a clarity problem. If you keep putting things off, I want you to hear this clearly. You're not lazy, you're undecided. Welcome back to the Sunny Side Up podcast. I am your host, Olivia Janelle. I'm extremely grateful that you're here with me on another episode. This episode is part of my Laws to Live By series, and today's law is the law of decision. I wanted to include this one early because procrastination is one of the most misunderstood behaviors and one of the most unfairly judged. Most people don't procrastinate because they don't care. They procrastinate because they're overwhelmed by a choice, pressure, and uncertainty. We've been taught to see procrastination as a discipline problem. Like if you just tried harder or managed your time better or found the right routine, you'd stop avoiding the thing. But procrastination isn't about effort. It's about clarity. When your brain doesn't know what matters most, it freezes. Not because it's broken, but because it's trying to protect you from making the wrong move. Here's what procrastination actually looks like: too many options, too many expectations, too many voices telling you what you should be doing. So instead of choosing one direction, you stall. You scroll, you recognize, you prepare. And then you tell yourself you'll do it later, but later rarely comes without a decision. I want to make this real for a moment. There were many times in my life where I told myself I was procrastinating when in reality I was afraid of choosing the wrong thing, afraid of committing to one path and closing one door on another. So I stayed in thinking mode. And thinking mode feels productive until you realize nothing is actually moving. That's when procrastination turns into self doubt. Here's the part most people miss: clarity does not come from thinking longer. It comes from deciding. Momentum doesn't come from certainty, it comes from commitment. And every time you delay a decision, you drain energy because indecision is exhausting. It keeps your nervous system in a constant state of almost. The law of decision is simple. When you choose, energy returns. Not because the choice is perfect, but because the internal debate stops. One clear decision is more powerful than 10 half formed intentions. This is why procrastination disappears the moment you commit, even if the work is hard, even if the outcome is uncertain, because clarity simplifies everything. It tells your brain where to focus, and focus creates movement. So instead of asking, why can't I stop procrastinating? Ask this instead: what decision am I avoiding? Where am I trying to keep every option open instead of choosing one direction? What would move forward if I committed, even imperfectly? You don't need total certainty. You need one honest choice that matches the season you're in now, not the version of you that keeps waiting for ideal conditions. So here's the law: procrastination isn't a character flaw, it's a clarity problem. And clarity is created through decision. Choose one thing, commit to it. Let everything else wait. Before you move on from this episode, sit with this question: what am I avoiding because I'm afraid of choosing wrong? And what would happen if I trusted myself enough to choose it anyways? That answer is where momentum starts. If this episode helped you see procrastination differently, I want you to send it to someone close to you who's been stuck in thinking mode and calling it preparation. And if that person is you, come back to this episode anytime you feel frozen by too many options. I really love this because, if you genuinely are one step away of the life that you desire with one decision, quiet the noise, stop preparing, stop procrastinating, and do it. I guarantee you. I told myself this year, I want to see things differently. I want to show up differently than I have this past year. And I know that I'm showing up in other areas very great, but in other areas I'm not. And I've noticed that in myself, that I want to show up differently in certain areas. Personally, that is a beautiful place to be because now I'm able to be more consistent in certain areas. I silence the noise because I have done so much work. Every single day, I more than likely have a breakthrough. And I'm like, okay, this is what is teaching me right now. Just for example, I planned out my day to where I'm going to record 4 podcasts, right? And after that, I'm going to treat myself with a walk. That's something that I'm going to give back to myself, right? Because everybody knows I love to go on my walks, especially like either in the morning or in the late afternoon. And it started to rain. And I'm like, okay, what is this teaching me right now? Get your podcast done. Get all the podcasts that you intentionally set for yourself. You said 4. I was only going to end up doing 2. Now I finished 4. But that was because instead of listening to the thoughts in my head of like, "Oh no, you can go, you can just do this." No, you set the intention that you were going to do this thing. And because you set that intention, you were trusting yourself to do it. You can get so much done in your life if you stop procrastinating. You will be further along and you can get so much done quicker in the amount of time that you are having the debate with yourself of, oh, I should do this, or maybe I shouldn't do this, or maybe I can push this off to another time. If you stop doing that, you can get so much done. It's the thought of you not being able to do it is the problem, not the that I missed out on the walk, for example. The thought that I couldn't do something is the problem, not the actual action of me missing out on something that I wanted to do. I'll just do it tomorrow. That's okay. And I'm just grateful to be here again. Like this is a great series that I decided to step into in this next 12 weeks, and I'm incredibly grateful that you're here with me. Until next time, keep choosing yourself, keep shining, and always stay sunny side up. I will see you in my next episode. Bye.